It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, Becky from YouTube says, you guys always say save 20 to 25%. So when would you suggest saving 20% versus 25%? Does this depend on when you get started saving? Is there a reason for that? And she even says, which I appreciate, admittedly, we are stretching to get to 20% right now. So how important is this to her to shoot for 25%?
Definitely age and when you started saving and investing. We've done illustrations. If you go watch some of our extended content, you'll see definitely by some of the by age series we've done.
Sure.
We've, in a nerdy way, calculated what 25% will replace for you as a percentage of your income if you work to a normal retirement age. And it's very, when we do this calculation, you can see that really it's in your 30s that if you haven't started saving by the time you're in your 30s, you pretty much have to be at 25%. But for somebody who's like, maybe you found our content, you're 24 years old, 26 years old, there's a lot of data we show that somebody in that context potentially could do 20% and still have that great, or even sometimes it's less than 20%. But we always want to be aspirational on that 25% because I understand when you graduate college or you're in a trade and maybe you're 21, 22 years of age, to tell you to save 25% could come off as being like jerks. I mean, it just is. It's a very tone deaf, but we've been poor too. Both of us come from very humble beginnings. It's supposed to have aspiration feeling to motivate you to get to 25% as fast as possible. That's why when we do the by age series, I will tell you it's aspirational in your 20s, but by the time you get to your 30s, you really need to be getting serious on firming up, getting to that 25%. But it's definitely, the earlier you start, the easier it is to reach your goals.
Yeah, this is something I say in private one-on-one conversations. I don't think I've ever said this on the show before, so I'm going to go on a limb and say this. Our goal is always to save 20 to 25%, but when I'm talking to someone, and they say, hey, I'm trying to figure out how much to save. And I say, all right, what are you saving now? And they'll tell me a number. I say, all right, this year, save more than you did last year. Okay, next year, save more than that. Save more. Okay, you're saving $50 a month. Great. Can we save 60? Because what it is, it's like a muscle, right? It's just like growing any other muscle. You want to work it, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. But right now it's hard. We got housing that's running away from us. We have inflation. Wage growth in certain industries is not quite what you may want it to be. Opportunities may not be exactly. It's difficult. So what you have to figure out is, based on where I am now, how much can I save? And then based on the decisions that I'm making, where I live, what I do, how I spend my time, where I work, how can I be working towards that 20 to 25% goal? Don't let it be discouraging though. If all you can eke out is getting the employer match this year, okay, figure out how next year you can get the employer match plus start that Roth IRA. And then max out that Roth IRA and then go back to the employer. And then once you are maxing out the employer, get to the 25%. Don't let it be something discouraging. If you're eking out just getting to 20%, that's great. Keep doing that. Because a lot of the stuff we talk about for saving 20 to 25% is for a normal retirement. Hey, we want to work and we want to retire at 60, 65 years old, and Social Security can bridge the gap. There are circumstances where maybe you have a pension and that changes things. Or maybe you're going to work a little bit longer and that changes things. The goal should be 25, but do what you can and then try to get better at it through time until you get to that number.
Well, and you just, because I thought you were going to go there, and I just want to put a cap on this, is that there's so many people that are aspiring also to leave the workforce, not in a traditional way.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to leave at 60, 65. They want to leave at 50 or 55. That's actually going to put more responsibility on you, that you have to save 30, even 40%. And that's why we typically, when we're talking about the 20 to 25%, we are talking about more of a traditional retirement, and also take into account how many decades can your money work for you, because it does have a direct impact on what that savings rate is.
Yeah, there's a great, this quote just came in from Dre. Dre said, yeah, find the money guys in your 30s. After your budget and lifestyle's already set, it's hard to shift to the food practically. We get that. Like, we get that it is not easy if it's not what you've been doing or if there's stuff you're bringing into it. However, if you want something you've never had before, you got to be willing to do things you've never done before. And some of those things are, okay, how do I reset? I had this budget in place. Is there excess in this budget? Are there places I could be saving? Are there things that I can trim? And do I want to? Is there a reason I want to trim my lifestyle today so that I can have that great, big, beautiful tomorrow? These are all the questions you have to answer to figure out what makes sense in your unique and specific situation.
Well, but you just got the real-time feedback from an audience member saying that it was harder for your 30s. I would say that's about most things in life. And that's why the financial order of operations is not wrong, depending upon, because it is very variable and adjusts to you to meet you directly where you are. But it is no different because you use the muscle analogy. I will tell you, the first year I was doing, I do a class structure for my working out. I probably did it too long, but I was on the treadmill portion of the class. I walked for 6 to 9 months because I didn't feel comfortable with the running aspect. It took me a while before I graduated to the point on my cardiovascular health was a point that I could run all out and actually look like everybody else in the class. And I think it's the same way with your finances. In the beginning, just get on the treadmill of saving and building. I don't care. And that's why I love that you were you shared. It might not be 20, 25% in the beginning. Maybe it's only 10%, but then next year it's going to be 12. And then when you get the next pay raise, it's going to go up to 16 or 17. So hopefully 3 years in the future, you now are north of 20%. That's how it works. Just like when you're exercising your muscles, it's going to take time. Same thing happens with your financial muscles as well.